Hi, this is Jared Alloway with Sensible Washington. We're going to Maple Valley QFC. We're going to stand out front and collect signatures on petitions, despite the fact that the management has asked us not to. Their store just happens to be in a collection of stores in a parking lot, technically making it a town center. And they've also given permission to the Girl Scouts to operate out in front of their stores. So we have documentation showing that they cannot ask us to leave. They can ask us to schedule a couple days in advance, and they can ask us to stand at a certain spot out in front of their store, but they can't ask us to leave altogether. So we're going to go there and exercise our rights, and we're going to capture it all on film. We're going to see if the management wants to cooperate or if they want to get the police involved. I assume the police will explain to them the law, and the law is in our favor, and if the police side with the management, then we have volunteers who are prepared to go through any proceedings necessary to make it clear that you cannot kick petitioners off the property in Washington State.
I'd like to say something too. Whatever again. So, the experience that has been had so far at this QFC is that they have outright told us we cannot gather signatures on their property. We know legally that we can, but there are laws that stipulate they can designate a time frame and an area in which we can be in. They have not offered us such restrictions. Therefore, there's no way for us to comply with this. This means that there is no way for them legally to remove us from the property.
So we're going to engage in peaceful non-compliance.
Correct, but it's not non-compliance with any laws. We're going to be completely within our legal rights, because no law enforcement officer can remove us from the property if we are complying with all laws, which if they have not designated a time and area that we have to be in, and we are not going against said orders, then we're fine, which they haven't. Either they don't know, or they're not willing to compromise with us. Either way, it's their fault. We're going to take advantage of that. This would remove that. It will absolutely. Alcohol prohibition. This is Montana not remove that. Montana not step up and say we will not take this. That's what they say. Not to mention there are so many states. We live it. It's the language of the law. Their rights have been stripped from them, and dispensaries have been closed down for litigation. People just really don't understand how medical patients are put at risk. The laws that we had in place before this, they still didn't protect them. The man who wrote this initiative is a medical marijuana defense attorney. I believe that he actually would follow the laws. I don't have to show up, but if I do, I don't care.
I have some paper right here.
Had to try, right? I'm wondering if we got the marijuana safer sign. Yeah. I mean, should we be, I'm trying to waive the sign.
Speed the process up a little bit.
What?
If we had the marijuana safer sign, would that speed things up a bit?
I don't think so. I don't know if they're coming. I don't think they are.
No, we're just going to get tons of signatures.
I really want to go ask him. And especially if every state in the entire country has wanted to do something about it, help us try.
Hey buddy, why say no when it feels so good to say yes?
And when it's legalized, because it is legal in
Washington. She's like, you're gonna have to talk to the store manager, and I was like, that's who I asked to talk to. So she got the dude, and he came up, and I was like, here's my card, we're going to gather signatures outside of your store, and he says, we don't allow that, and I said, you allow Girl Scouts, correct? And he said, yes, we do. And I said, then you legally have to allow us. And he says, well, you're going to have to take that up with corporate and our security. And I said, okay, can I have that number? And so I took corporate's number, I called them, and I left them a message with my number telling them we're at your Maple Valley, Washington location, your QFC, and we are going to be gathering signatures. Here's my phone number. Feel free to call me back. I'd like to know what you feel about this. And we recorded the conversation that I saying that they do allow Girl Scouts to gather signatures and that they won't allow us to gather them. And, well, we went out there and we propped up our signs and we stood there and gathered signatures for a while. And he came out and he said, so you're going to do it anyway, huh? And I said, yes, we are. And he said, well, I'm going to call the cops then. And I said, go right ahead. And so he went back in, and an hour later, we're standing outside, and I'm wondering where the cops are, and I'm about to walk in and ask him, so did they tell you what time they were supposed to show up, you know? And he actually walked out and said, here's the deal. You guys can't be aggressive, you can't be yelling at people or disruptive, or else we will haul you away. You guys need to not talk to kids. And we said, you know, they come and ask us and they wish to be educated. And he says, well, use your discretion. You know, we've had some complaints. We got 14 and 12-year-old kids running around here. So, you know, obviously don't try and get them to sign because they can't sign anyway. And just try and use your discretion at that. And I said, you know, that's fine. We'll definitely try to adhere to that. And that sounds fine. So, you know, we can't shout at people, which we weren't really anyway. We were like, hey, sign to legalize marijuana in a very mild tone. And as long as we have a big fat sign out there, we're fine, you know. It's open grounds. And I told him, well, thank you very much. And we're going to pack it up for the day. But I will make sure that all of our volunteers that come out here in the future will be aware of your regulations. Yep, so it's yours. That Maple Valley QFC is yours for the taking. No problem. You enjoy that.